got that back to where I was relatively, well, not where I was, but got that back up and running relatively quickly. So I'm back to the beginning of the.
Where are you?
I'm not going to talk to our layman because he wasn't hugely helpful to talk to. But I'm going to try and be a little more tactful with Connor. See if I can stop him turning into a demon.
Who are you? Are you the one that made Father ill? Tell me now.
No, I didn't.
How do I know that? You could be a liar. You could be a demon.
And you could be a guardian of this realm meant to confuse.
Fool! You won't get near her. I won't let you.
Well, that's interesting. Weirdly, facially still looks like Connor. Just with nipple tassels. I am not here for this. Okay. That's I bloody hope that wasn't the real Connor.
You're the one making Father sick!
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the maiden.
Hello again.
Why do you keep hurting me? Why are you trying to stop me?
What is your purpose here? Is Connor
And if
truly
I
amongst
were
you?
Connor, what would you say to him?
That I'm here to help him.
You will not find what you seek. Turn back now.
Obviously you fear I will indeed find what I seek.
Trespasser! I will drive you out!
Okay, they both seem to be immune to that. That's awkward.
As you say.
Can you resist this? Oh, you're immune to it. Even worse.
I shall do it.
Not to that. Okay.
I'll help him! You can't stop me!
Right.
Get out of here! You have to get out!
So far 2 demons pretending to be Connor seem to actually think that they are, to some extent, Connor.
Father wanders, seeking me, trapped within my web. All is as it should be. Why must you interfere?
Because you interfere and you should not.
Connor invited her to come, and they struck a bargain. She has every right to do as she wishes. No, it is time for you to go now. Do not persist, or things will go very badly for you.
Okay, I'm actually gonna reassess some of these. Take that out. put chain lightning in. I'm going to put chain lightning in the place of heroic offense, so that I can actually use it quickly. Well, I was glad of that choice. I didn't know there were two of them. Okay. So far, so good. I think.
Very well.
You were in the floor.
No more illusions. Now we meet face to face. You see my true form and stand in my domain. It is here I am most powerful. And yet I have no wish to engage your power, nor should you be so eager to engage mine. Perhaps we should converse instead?
What could I possibly have to talk to you about?
I possess the boy's soul. We could battle for it, or we could negotiate like civilized beings. If you are smart, you could even come out ahead.
Don't make deals with demons. No discussion.
Alas, that is sad. Very well then. If you wish a battle, you will have it. Let us see if your power matches your boldness, creature.
Well.
Shall be done.
There is no
Okay.
glory in bloodshed.
Did that say weakness?
Must
That's
fight. Let
resisted.
us do it quickly.
Okay. She resists quite a lot. Probably this as well. No, she does not resist fire. Let's try and charge. Okay then.
I shall do it.
Automatically facing the puzzle. Where else have I seen a puzzle like that? I know there's one in Ocarina of Time. The boss of the forest temple does a similar thing to that. Victory! Funeral. Is there a pyre because you ran out of boats to give the rest of the Viking funerals?
So it is over. Connor is his old self. He does not seem to remember anything, which is a blessing. I suppose we will need to send him to the Circle of Magi's tower for training, once the war is over. It's so odd to think of the boy as a mage, of all things. Eamon has much to mourn and rebuild should he recover. But at least he can be thankful that both his son and wife are safe.
I owe you my deepest thanks. I can scarcely believe Connor is the boy he once was.
There is still the matter of Jowan. His poisoning Eamon began this whole mess, yet he lives. I must decide what becomes of him. We will hold him for Eamon to decide his fate. If he doesn't recover, Jowan's fate is sealed. What do you think?
I don't think it's your decision to make.
What do you mean? He is responsible for many of the problems here, and is a Maleficar as well.
Exactly, it's the Circle's responsibility.
Perhaps you are correct. But that is Eamon's decision, not mine. I'm sorry. Jowan stays in the dungeon for now. But our task is not done yet. Whatever the demon did to my brother, it seems to have spared his life, but he remains comatose. We cannot wake him.
The urn. The urn of sacred ashes will save Eamon.
The urn's legend and might never be found.
That is a possibility. But there is a reason it's still an option. I am not simply grasping at straws.
My husband funded the research of a scholar in Denerim, a brother Genetivi. He has been studying the inscriptions on Andraste's birth rock. When Aemon fell ill, I sent the knights to speak to Genetivi. I hoped that he had finally discovered the location of the urn of sacred ashes itself. They were unable to locate Genetivi. In desperation, I sent more knights in search of the brother, or some clue of the urn's location.
Well, I'll see if I can find it.
No one else can. Even if I wished to do it myself, I cannot abandon Redcliffe to its own devices. Perhaps you could seek out the brother's home in Denerim and see if any clues remain on his whereabouts. It is the only place to begin the search, I think. I must go to the hall and begin rebuilding. I wish you luck, and may the Maker go with you.
Wynn leveled up. How did Wynn level up? Have magic. Arcane shield. That only benefits her. Heroic defense. I like the sound of that. With paralysis spells. Okay. I think I'll go with heroic defense. Because I could really have done with that for Alistair. Okay. It's a book. First Blight, Chapter 2. People today have little concept of the consequences of the second sin. Oh, believe me when I say, when asked, pious chantry-going folk will curse the use of foul magic, spitting and snapping their fingers, but none live today who actually remember the horror that was unleashed so very long ago. Whatever records might have existed, regrettably did not survive the chaos and ignorance that was to follow. We have only the tales of survivors handed down through the murky ages and the dogma of the chantry to instruct us, and that is precious little indeed. I believe I am not understating when I say that the second sin unleashed a bane of all life upon Thedas. Darkspawn are more virulent than the worst plague, a heartless force of nature that came into our world like an ill wind. We know from accounts of later blights, as these Darkspawn invasions came to be called, never has a more appropriate name existed, that the Darkspawn spread disease and famine wherever they tread. The earth itself is corrupted by their presence, the sky roiling with angry black clouds. I do not exaggerate, my friends, when I say that a mass gathering of Darkspawn is an omen of a dread cataclysm. Cataclysm. It is said that those cursed magisters who became the first Darkspawn scratched the very earth to find solace in the darkness of the dwarven deep roads, and there in the shadows they multiplied. Whether by intelligent design or by some last vestige of worship in their minds, they attempted to locate the old gods they had once served. They found what they sought, Dumat first among the old gods, once known as the Dragon of Silence, before the Maker imprisoned him and held his brethren beneath the earth for the first sin, usurping the Maker's place in mankind's heart. The slumbering dragon awoke, freed from the Maker's prison by his twisted followers, and became corrupted himself. Dumat was transformed into the first archdemon, his great and terrible power given will by a rotting, unholy mind. With the Darkspawn horde following, Dumat rose and took wing to the skies once again, bringing ruin to the world the Maker had created. The old god had become the eye of a dark storm that would ravage the entire world. Pleasant. Pile of books. History of Ferelden. Ferelden, as we think of it now, does exist before the Exalted Age. Instead, the valley was divided up into dozens of old Alamari clans, warring constantly with one another over land, honour, the allegiance of the freeholders, and on one notable occasion, the name given to a favourite Mabari. And then, in the 33rd year of the Exalted Age, Calanad Therin became Terran of Denerim. And everything changed. Most of what we know about the founding of our nation comes from old songs the bard passed down through the ages. The songs are filled with wild exaggerations and outright lies, but this hardly differs from the scholarly papers of some of our contemporaries. There is no agreement among poets and scholars as on how he did it, but Calanad gained the support of the Circle of Magi, and they crafted for him a suit of silvery white armour that, by all accounts, repelled both arrow and blade. Calanad led his army across the valley and captured Redcliffe, one of only 3 men who ever successfully laid siege on that fortress, and presented himself to the bands of the Landsmeet as their king. The poets tell us that every lord knelt before Calanad without question. The fact that he attended the Landsmeet surrounded by ash warriors and loyal mages of the Circle is generally omitted from the ballads, however. From Calanad came the line of the Therin kings and queens who reigned uninterrupted until the 44th year of the Blessed Age, when the Elysian invasion came. The rightful king was forced to flee to Denerim, and for 70 years a puppet sat on the throne. Okay. Hello. Who are you?
Oh, there's so much to be cleaned up. I don't want to even think about what happened here.
I've seen worse. Would you like to see the circle? Hello, Connor. You Compass Mentis?
You're the one who saved me.
I thought you didn't remember.
I remember having a bad dream. There was a very scary lady, but she went away. I hope Father gets better soon. He will, won't he?
You sound much more human now. You've got a book. Aveline, Knight of Orlais. Born to a Elysian farmer near the city of Halamshirel. In the early half of the Storm Age. I struggle with new words. Generally alright with words I've seen before, but when I see a new one I have to work it out letter by letter quite slowly. She was a large and ugly baby, and her father had hoped for a boy. Not wanting another mouth to feed, the farmer left Aveline in the woods to die from exposure, but a travelling band of Dalish elves came upon the crying child. The elves took her into their clan and raised her as their own. They taught her archery, dueling, and survival skills. When she came of age, she was larger and stronger than most women, let alone elven women. Her adoptive parents knew that she was a fine warrior, so they encouraged her to enter a human tournament in nearby Montsimard. But women were not permitted to join the knighthood in Orlais, not completing the tournament, so Aveline joined the tournament as a man. Her clan forged a suit of armour with a full helm and gave her an iron bark sword of the finest quality. Aveline entered the competition claiming to be a knight of Antiver. She refused to doff her helmet, even during the archery competition, and sure enough, bested many other knights until in the grand melee she came upon Kaleva, a knight who served the Emperor and was considered the finest in the land. Kaleva was determined not to be beaten and struck swiftly and strongly. As Aveline matched each of his blows, Kaleva grew ever more frustrated. Finally, in desperation, he tripped Aveline and threw her to the ground. The blow knocked her helmet from her head, knocked a helm from her head, and Kaleva was shamed. He called to have the competition declared invalid, but the crowd booed and jeered. In anger, Kaleva turned and slew Aveline as she lay helpless. The son of the Emperor, Prince Freyan, was also present at the tourney. He too had been beaten by Aveline, but recognised his skill and bravery and was saddened by the injustice of her death. Upon rising to the Emperor's seat in 744 Storm, Freyan abolished the law that disallowed women from joining the Orlesian knighthood and posthumously knighted her. Although women in the Orlesian knighthood are still rarity today, those who do become knights revere Sir Aveline as their patron. I wanted a happier ending. Game just saved. Why did the game save? Hello, God.
I hear you saved the Earl's son. That's got to count for something.
I wonder what happened to all the other castle servants that were here. Do you think they all died? Oh,
there's a lot of castle.
It is begun. I'll keep going as Liliana for a more book. Journal of the Tranquil. Woke up, slept. Some laugh at me. I no longer mind. Once upon a time I studied as they did. I learned under the tutelage of an enchanter and attempted to master the art of bending magic to my will, and while I did well enough, I knew that I struggled. I saw the way the enchanter looked at me, the sidelong glances of worry and disappointment. While other apprentices were conjuring fire, I could barely light a candle. I was frightened of magic. When I was a boy, my grandmother regaled me with tales of the terrible Flemeth, the Witch of the Wilds. She told me of the Magisters and how their evil magic infected the world with the Darkspawn. She told me of demons and how they were drawn to the dreams of those who possessed magic like moths to a flame. She told me all these things because she said the talent ran in our family's blood, and so it ran in mine. All my young life I dreaded the thought. I prayed to the Maker that I was not so cursed, but I knew otherwise. Deep in my heart I knew. When the Templars came to our home, I knew. The Mage's Tower was terrifying, full of secrets and danger. The Templars glared at me as if I could spring full into an abomination before their very eyes. My enchanter patiently attempted to teach me to marshal my willpower, my only defense should a demon attempt to enslave me, but it was no use. How many nights did I cry myself to sleep in that dark and lonely place? When my harrowing came at last, my final test, face a demon, they said, or submit to the rite of tranquility. They would sever my connection to the Fade, and thus I would never dream, and no demon could ever touch me. But I would also be unable to do magic, and I would never feel an emotion ever again. Facing the demon was certain death, so my choice was easy. It was not so painful. Now I serve in other ways. We Tranquil manage the archives. We run the tower, purchase the supplies, and maintain the accounts. Our condition also allows us to use the magical element lyrium without ill effect, and thus we are the ones who enchant the magical items. We are the merchants who sell these items to those in Circle permits, and the coin from those sales provides the Circle's wealth. Thus we Tranquil are vital. The young and old may stare at me ill at ease, but they will be worse off without me. They may think me a failure, but there is no horror for me now. I feel no fear of what I am. The shadows are merely shadows, and I am content. Rachel is happy to know that baths exist.
No comment. Vanity. Sure, everyone keeps health poultices in their... Going to Freldom in genealogical history. Main floor. Aren't those the ones that attacked me before? Desk. Alistair's mother's amulet. The Elysian Empire. There are many lords and ladies in Valroyo, and I mean this literally. Once the system of noble titles in Orlais was labyrinthine. There were barons and barons and baronets and sir-barons and a horde of others, each with its own origins and own nuances of comparison. The Elysian aristocracy is ancient and such given to competition. All the nobility play the grand game as it is known, whether they wish to or not. It's a game of reputation and patronage, where moves are made with rumours and scandal as the chief weapon. No gentle game this. More blood has been drawn as a result of the grand game than any war the Elysians have ever fought. I'm assured by almost every gentleman here. As far as titles went, everything changed with the coming of Emperor Dracon, who established the Elysian Empire as it exists now and who created the Chantry. There is no more venerated figure in Orlais. In Valroyo, the statue of Dracon stands as tall as the statue of Andraste. Dracon determined that the grand game was tearing Orlais apart, so he abolished titles besides his own, and Lord and Lady. I am told with some twittering amusement that this action did not end the grand game as Dracon had intended. Now the Lords and Ladies collected unofficial titles rather than official ones, such as the Exalted Patron of Tassus Clay, or Uncle to the Champion of the Thames. It's a headache to remember such titles, and one winces to think of the poor doorman at the balls who must rattle them off as each guest enters the room. The aristocracy is different from Ferelden in other ways as well. The Elysians' right to rule stems directly from the Maker. There exists neither the concept of rule by merit nor the slightest notion of rebellion. If one is not noble, one aspires to be, or at least aspires to be in the good graces of a noble, and is ever watching for a way to enter the patronage of those placed in the grand game. And then there are the masks and the cosmetics. I've not seen such paint since the kennels at Highover, but that's another story. Alistair, look what I found!
This is my mother's amulet. It has to be. But why isn't it broken? Where did you find it?
In that table, right there. In Redcliffe Castle, in the study. Where we are, here.
Oh, the Arl's study? Then he must have found the amulet after I threw it at the wall. And he repaired it and kept it. I don't understand. Why would he do that?
He meant to give it back to you.
Maybe he did. He might even have brought it with him one of those times he came to see me at the monastery. Not that I would have given him a chance, as belligerent as I was to him. Thank you. I mean it. I thought I'd lost this to my own stupidity. I'll need to talk to him about this if he recovers from his... when he recovers, that is. I wish I'd had this a long time ago. Did you remember me mentioning it? Wow. Huh. I'm more used to people not really listening when I go on about things.
Of course I remembered.
I don't know what to say. You're special to me too. Thank you again.
Right. That's all I really came in for, and those things attack. So, I'm just going to leave now, if I can... Find the door. There's the door. Right. Oh. And another thing. Have a genealogy.
A generous gift. Thank you ever so much.
Oh, new ability. Right. Where to? Don't currently need to go back to camp. Where's that flashing? Great. Cheers. Well, map, please. Thank you. What's the bottom left? The bottom left is Honleith. Ah, I thought clicking it would give information, not send me back there via an ambush. Now I'll have to go back to camp because this will probably kill someone. Oh, wait. This is an ambush. This is plot. Oh, no, it's a plot ambush.
Sire, I have more news. Yes. Well, it seems that the fighting has gone exactly as you...
I would like to know what you intend to accomplish, Father. Should we not be fighting the Darkspawn instead of each other?
The nobility should be brought into line and then the Darkspawn defeated. This is no true blight, Honora. Only Kaelin's vanity demanded it be so.
Beg pardon, sire. But blight or no, we may not have the manpower to face the Darkspawn soon.
Kaelin approached your legions for support, did he
Never!
not?
Marek and I drove those bastards out! Not roll out the welcome for them now!
We need help, Father. We cannot deal with this crisis alone.
Ferelden will stand on its own! I will lead it through this, Honora. You must have faith in me.
Did you kill Kaelin?
Kaelin's death was his own doing.
Reasonable reaction. The long road. That's not Elfric.
Oh, thank the Maker. We need help. They attacked the wagon. Please help us. Follow me. I'll take you to them.
Okay. Yep. Seems legit. Oh, it's you. Hello. It's lots of you.
The Grey Warden dies here!
There's 2 Grey Wardens here. Oh, good. I thought that cut us off from the rest of the party. Okay. Let's start off by putting Tempest down there and an Earthquake. So yeah, what Earthquake up there? I could probably overlap these somewhat actually. So I'm gonna put that back down so it gets all those archers up there and it gets him. Meanwhile the Tempest can get everyone else.
We might want to go again.
We might, but I'd really rather not. Righty-ho. Let's give you one of them. How about we try this on him. Lely's dead. I did not expect this. Win. Mass heals, please. Where's your mass heal? There we go. Win. You don't have any lyrium. Let's put that back there for a sec. And
I am here.
revive. Which one of these bodies is Lely? That's Lely.
As you say.
Oh, why can't I hit him? Now I can hit him.
As you say. And back. We are victorious.
Oh, what? I rather thought I would wake up dead, or not wake up at all, as the case may be. But I see you haven't killed me yet.
I have questions.
Ah, so I am to be interrogated. Let me save you some time. My name is Zevran. Zev to my friends. I am a member of the Antivan Crows, brought here for the sole purpose of slaying any surviving Grey Wardens, which I have failed at, sadly.
I like his honesty. You're hired to kill us.
A rather taciturn fellow in the capital. Logain, I think his name was. Yes, that's it.
So, when were you to see him next?
I wasn't. If I had succeeded, I would have returned home and the Crows would have informed your Logain of the results, if he didn't already know. If I had failed, I would be dead, or I should be, at least as far as the Crows are concerned. No need to see Logain then.
So, you're loyal to Logain?
I have no idea what his issues are with you. The usual, I imagine. You threaten his power, yes? Beyond that, no, I am not loyal to him. I was contracted to perform a service.
And now you failed.
Oh, well, that's between Logain and the Crows, and between the Crows and myself.
And between you and me?
Isn't that what we're establishing now?
Okay, why are you telling me this?
Why not? I wasn't paid for silence. Not that I offered it for sale, precisely.
Ah. Aren't you at least loyal to your employers?
Loyalty is an interesting concept. If you wish, and you're done interrogating me, we can discuss it further.
Go on. Make it
Well,
quick.
here's the thing. I failed to kill you, so my life is forfeit. That's how it works. If you don't kill me, the crows will. Thing is, I like living. And you obviously are the sort to give the crows pause. So let me serve you instead.
Can I expect the same amount of loyalty from you?
I happen to be a very loyal person. Up until the point where someone expects me to die for failing. That's not a fault, really, is it? I mean, unless you're the sort who would do the same thing. In which case, I don't come very well recommended, I suppose.
What does stop you from finishing the job later?
To be completely honest, I was never given much of a choice regarding joining the Crows. They bought me on the slave market when I was a child. I think I paid my worth back to them plus tenfold. The only way out, however, is to sign up with someone they can't touch. Even if I did kill you now, they might just kill me on principle for failing the first time. Honestly, I'd rather take my chances with you.
I mean, you technically killed Lily, but you make a good point.
What? You're taking the assassin with us now? Does that really seem like a good idea?
You're eating a pauldron. We can use him.
Alright, I see your point. Still, if there was a sign we were desperate, I think it just knocked on the door and said hello.
Welcome, Zevran. Having an Antivan Crow join us sounds like a fine plan.
Oh, you are another companion to be, then? I wasn't aware such loveliness existed amongst adventurers, surely.
Or maybe not.
I hereby pledge my oath of loyalty to you until such a time as you choose to release me from it. I am your man, without reservation. This I swear.
I have to say, the artist behind the hair in Dragon Age could have done with having more reference images of plats. Because the plats in this game don't make sense. Friends of Red Jenny. Task was never promised to be easy. You said you could enter the Circle Tower and you were believed. Find the small painted box in First Enchanter Irving's office and deliver it to the door marked in dinner room as agreed. Or be prepared to find yourself hunted across Ferelden.
It is begun.
Zevran! We buried you apparently. That's the point. Lesser injury kit. You've got a cracked skull. Right. Loot this one first. Oh.
Right away.
Only not into the crate. Elf root. Death root. Elf. There.
I shall.
Dead assassin. Had money. Okay.
On my way.
Well. That was... I forgot I was going there. I don't need to be there. Okay. So, let's go back to not being here. And... Lothering, destroyed by the Darkspawn. Okay. Well... I didn't need to use an injury kit. I could just have gone back to camp. I'm gonna go for Soldier's Peak because well, it's the furthest away thing on the map, and therefore I can watch bloodstains spatter across the map with gay abandon and just wait to be ambushed.
And here we are, Soldier's Peak.
Where did you join us then?
Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels.
How did you find that path on your own?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Go on.
It came to me in my dreams. When I was a lad, I tried going through the tunnel by myself. Got horribly lost. But every now and again since, I've dreamt of it.
You didn't mention that before?
I didn't want you to think I was some moon-addled simpleton. I've me wits about me, but enough of that. I'll follow you, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Soldier's Peak. Looks like it's seen better days. Better centuries, more like.
Suddenly reminded of Skyrim. You're not following from a distance, you're bleeding.
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
Well.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
I've heard an Orlesian ballad about something like this. A beauty trapped in a dream. In the song, Belisa never wakes up.
Your prissy friend here is making me nervous, Warden. How's this even possible? The place must truly be haunted.
Did you see that green thing behind you? Vale's thin here. Circle Tower's that way too. What separates us from the Faden demons?
Demons? Thank Andraste you came, Warden. After you.
Sure thing. That just looks like a door. Statue. Ancient history. uncovered some history at the base of Soldier's Peak. There might be more mausoleum. Let's see. And what did I just pick up? What was the other codex? David. Grey Warden Base Soldier's Peak was built in the middle of the Glory Age, several decades after the Second Blight was ended. Before then, Grey Wardens and Freelds had taken resistance in castles and forts that belonged to generous nobles. Warden Commander Gaspar Asturian desired a fortified headquarters where his forces could train and live. He planned that Soldier's Peak would be a city unto itself. The defeat of the Darkspawn of the Archdemon in Cecil was fresh in the minds of the Freelden people, and many were willing to donate gold to build Commander Asturian's fortress. Soldier's Peak was fully completed within 10 years and dedicated to the Maker in 934 glory. Okay.
These things can have unusual powers.
Well, that was effective. Oh, that's why they keep falling down. Earthquake. Yeah. You're dead again. Once wasn't enough for you.
These things can have unusual powers.
They're behind us.
Be wary.
Let's just put a Tempest there-ish, stop anyone approaching. Okay, that chain lightning has quite a range and nice amount of damage. Okay. That's quite a lot. That's unnecessary.
Let them overwhelm us.
Put that there. And run. Okay, let's put a Tempest down there.
Let's break this quick. Don't give them the advantage.
Almost no level up. Get his health to 30, his constitution to 20. That's doing lots of things. Tempest is quite loud. Oh, I need 32 strength to assault. I can get that next level. that just that well was tanking. Although I can't think with that noise. Okay, I'm above the pain line now. Okay. Lootable skeletons. Hail rune. And money. Antique warden crossbow. Those trees keep disappearing.
The men's morale is low. My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up! I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving, and my great-great-grandmother stood with them.
Sounds like there's greatness in your blood.
Oh, well, that's kind of you to say. Generations of Dryadens have said that our stock were lions. Fierce, proud, and noble. But I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
Very well.
State of defiance. These grounds, virtuous men stood against a tyrant. They stood defiant, and they stood for freedom, and they died. It is signed by the Grey Warden defenders who were besieged by King Holland's forces. Mello the Black Ferret, Chethro Lopez, Sir Derek of Orlais, Jason Longbow, Alan the Quibbler, Cartography Martyr, David the Silent, Dustin the Colourblind, Ebringer of the Bovine Brethren, Farrell the Feral, Sir Graham the Untiring, Jason Son the Argonauts, Langley the Nefarious, Lucky Lacuna, Mad Dog Smeadows, Matthias the Bloody, McQuirk the Vile Priest, Melissa the Magical Malefactor, Om the Stretched, and Packrat Dirksen, Sergeant Red Morrison, Santos the Silent Scimitar, Vitriolic Eric, Weak Eye Santos, Wellburn the Exhaustive Fire. That just sounds like a collection of the worst D&D parties. Oh, that's the way we came in. Got myself turned about in there. You're an arcane horror. Did the Tempest work? It doesn't appear to have worked. Okay, that's good. By good, I mean, for fuck's sake.
Letter from Van Mathuin Wolf. Sophia, Al Ruan and his entire family have been slaughtered, even the children. The Ruan line is no more than the Arling belongs to is no more, and the Arling belongs to the crown for now. Arlings believe Ruan was plotting against him. Ruan criticised the king's spending on Winter's End, that's all. It was an idle word spoken out of turn. The king goes too far. His brain's filled with madness and clings to the crown like a drowning man clutches at a straw. Sphere, I beg you, help us. If nothing is done, more will suffer. Okay. Arcane Horror has skeletons.
It shall be done.
They're gonna come to life, because otherwise they'd decompose by now. Or you could do that.
I shall do.
Archivist.
Here comes trouble.
Oh, can you stop staggering your appearance? Had you appeared a moment earlier?
Away with you!
You were then got by chain lightning. Dickhead. Archivist's book. Looks badly burned. You can make a word here and there, that's all.
The door won't hold, Archivist.
Almost done. The truth must be told.
What does it matter? We're dead.
Our grand rebellion so close. And to die here, a stillbirth.
Maybe I should have done it. Wardens aren't supposed to oppose kings and princes.
Should we stand idly by?
Another one. Rebellion? What's this about a rebellion? If only the book weren't burned.
Maybe there are other records.
We can only hope.
Spirit Balm. Health Poultice. Right. Demon.
Very well.
History of Soldier's Peak, Chapter 2. As he approached his 60th year, rumours swelled that the corruption in Warden Commander Asturian's blood was beginning to take its toll. According to reports from that time, the commander experienced terrifying waking dreams and heard his name whispered from the dark corners of Soldier's Peak. It is said that Asturian would spend hours locked up alone in the great hall of the base, muttering to himself, though no one was ever able to make out what he was saying. Many also believe that Asturian began in secret to draw up plans to expand his fortress, adding to it hidden passages and alcoves to protect himself from the shadows that pursued him. No one knows whether Asturian was able to complete his project, for his deterioration had become obvious to anyone who spent any amount of time with him. He was quickly replaced by Warden Commander Frieda Halwick. Asturian was taken to Ozamar, where he was submitted to the calling, the last rite of the Grey Wardens, went to his death with honour. That's a bottle. I don't like any of that.
Make them pay for every inch, men! Hold the flank! Avernus, we need you!
Contraste's blood! What?
For Avernus, whatever it takes!
Well, that'll be...
No! I command you, fight the king's men!
So much death, suffering, and oh yes, blood. The veil is torn now. Your soul is mine, Avernus.
Acolytes, retreat now. The battle is lost.
Avernus! What just happened? Oh no, more fighting.
Actually, put that closer to as well.
It shall be done.
Now. That's tanking a lot of damage. Lily, get back out of combat. Win, get back out of combat. You know what? Anna, also get back out of combat. He died. Oh no, he just keeps getting knocked down. No, that's not who I meant to click heal on. Perfect. No. Insufficient stamina. Win could do some rejuvenation on Lily.
Direct.
There we go.
The wardens summoned demons. Can't believe it. And my grandmother, she knew.
She was fighting for her life.
I believed that my family was better than that. But answers may lay up ahead.
Winter's breath. Staff that radiates cold and does cold resistance and cold damage. Okay. They didn't even make it off the starting blocks.
It shall be done.
Tempest is pretty good at what it does. Oh, that's not actually a door.
As you say.
Speaking of which... being knocked down by the earthquake. Raspberry jam. After Asteria's death, rumors and theories became increasingly outlandish. One of the more ridiculous rumors told of Asteria's infatuation with an elven princess of law, whom he was trying to resurrect in a secret ritual chamber through the use of blood magic and the princess's favourite food, raspberry jam. Warren Commander Frieda Halwyn launched a thorough investigation into Asteria's secret plans, but was unable to uncover any evidence that anything in Soldier Speak had been changed. Commander Halwyn declared that rumours about Asteria were a slight on his memory, and that anyone found repeating them would be harshly punished. The stories were thus silenced. But there is raspberry jam. You're not real.
Step no further, Warden. This one would speak with you.
Who or what are you?
This one is the Dryden, Commander, Sophia. All these things.
Grandmother?
You have slain many of the demon ilk to get here. This one would propose a deal.
I'm afraid your great-great-grandmother's possessed.
That, or she's really let herself go. My great-great-grandmother is dead. I don't know what that is.
Is anything of Sophia left inside you?
This one has tasted her memories, seen her thoughts and hidden places. But she is food for this one. No more, no less.
And why should I trust a demon?
What is one woman-child compared to your might? Strike me down if my terms offend. A fool this one would be to betray the Warden.
You can't be serious. There's nothing left of Commander Dryden. She's possessed.
Your fledgling should mind its place. Meek, subservient, quiet. This one will answer your question. The Soldier's Peak traps me. This one sees so many tantalizing places in the Dryden's memories. This one would see the world herself. For me to be free, into the Old Mage Tower you go and destroy. In return, this one seals the veil. No more demons, no more enemies. Your peak would be safe. Just let this one go into the world.
No. I'm here on behalf of Levi. Tell me about Sophia Dryden.
This one knows all, but will only talk after the tower lies broken.
That's not happening.
Then you are a fool!
Okay, it's updated. Ferelden's light and her most brilliant jewel. Nothing on this earth can ever quench her fire. Alessa Sophia Dryden was the young Arlen's rival for the throne of Ferelden. Dryden was a strong and charismatic leader with much support from the Banorn. When Arlen finally won the crown, Dryden refused to relent. She pushed her claim, was caught and accused of treason. Her sympathizers continued to support, however. In order to appease them, Dryden was spared execution and forced to join the Grey Wardens instead. I think I've read that much so far before. King Arlen had driven the Grey Wardens from Ferelden, and after the siege of Soldier's Peak, the base was abandoned. When Soldier's Peak finally entered again for the first time in centuries, it was discovered that Sophia Dryden had been possessed by a demon. Didn't really need telling that, to be honest.
Very well. It shall be done. I shall do it.
Right.
It is begun.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
There you go.
I can't believe my great-great-grandmother was still alive. Well, sort of alive, sort of dead. I need a drink.
Book on the desk. I didn't see one. I was holding tab down, so if there was one, I think it was destructive.
They've seen us. I shall.
Enough! Now we do battle!
Ah, crap. There, where did you come from? However, I will have a look at that desk. Oh, bloody traps. Book. Sphere Dryden's journal. 21st of Elviesta. It's done. The nobles have thrown their lot in with Arland. Arland, snot-nosed man-child. Arland who did not walk till he was in his 5th year. Arland who had been pried off his nursemaid's breast not 2 years ago, or so it is whispered. The Terns and the Arls believed to be a simpleton and easily led, but I've seen something in the boy's eye and it terrifies me. 10th Maluris. I watched the Summer Day processions from a room high in Fort Dracon. The Regent has me for treason, when my only guilt is of being true to my country and my heart. My guard's tongue was easily loosened with the gift of a ruby ring, and I am told that the bands are fighting against my sentence. I shall pray, but no hope that it will be anything but the gallows for me. To Faventis. The draft was like bitter fire, but I survived. Weep for me, for I survived. Would that they had made a clean end for me. I should have died a lady as great as the Drydens, not become this nothing, this monstrous nothing. 19th, Matronalis. Enough. I shall waste no more time with the wretched woman's last lamentation. Death would have been easy, but fate saw fit to spare me, and I will seize upon this chance. The Grey Wardens are an army, and the old commander is weak. A wisp of a man. I will inspire the Wardens, and Arland will rue the day he spared my life. Huh. Now, out here are traps. So I shall move as Lely. Who didn't say trap ahead?
As you like.
Those traps are set off. That one I didn't see, so they are above Lely's level.
Right away.
That's annoying. Oh, that sounds nice. The usual. Not flat on the ass. out of melee range.
Let's make this quick! You found the hand!
It is begun.
Ability notes. Please build research of Major Vernus. Details of a series of experiments in terse clinical handwriting.
Day 32. The subject is not responding to the stimuli. Testing the pain threshold has uncovered nothing. Only 3 subjects are left. Day 82. If only I could reproduce last night's extraordinary success. Electricity is only a catalyst. The blood is the key. Day 97. Energy and blood. Repeated applications have duplicated the results. I conjecture that success can be induced alchemically. But there are no more subjects left. If only I had 1 more, or a dozen. The things I could do.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm just going to leave that there. And read his notes before doing anything. The taint allows us to sense the darkspawn. The longer we survive with the taint in our blood, the more potent it becomes. Unfortunately, this corruption will eventually overwhelm the warden. Over time, it devours both mind and body, leaving nothing. But what if the spread of the corruption could be stopped or contained in some way? What if the warden could become more powerful without having that power kill him? How great would that power be? Would it be enough to stop the demons? The joining ritual is crude. We take into ourselves the blood of the darkspawn in the most obvious way. Most die from the corruption immediately. It is, after all, poison. There must be some way to refine the joining. Isolate the true power that is found in darkspawn blood and leave behind the evil that kills us. I can feel the corruption is starting to take its toll on my body. I must not succumb. There is too much work to be done. Through my magic, I've been able to slow its inevitable spread, but not stop it completely. I'm starting to hear things, even while awake. A voice more beautiful than any other that calls to me from the depths. In my dreams, I see the Black City. I am drawn towards it. There's something there. An answer to what this taint is. This taint that we share with the Darkspawn. That does actually sound good when you put it that way. The idea being, hey, this is actually fixing something, rather than, hey, this is a good idea. Blood magic. How about that? Okay.
I hear you. Don't disrupt my concentration. Even now, the demons seek to replenish their numbers. Are you to thank for this welcomed but temporary imbalance?
You're still alive.
Only just. I have only a short time left.
Careful. This man has dabbled in matters forbidden by the Maker. He may look frail, but don't trust him.
So the Maker told you that, did he? Short-sighted men have forbidden my research, not any god. Enough. Why are you here? What is your intent?
What answers?
To what questions, I wonder? Ask.
How have you survived?
The Chantry foolishly forbids blood magic, but there are so many secrets to uncover. As my body decayed, I found ways to extend it. But that can only go so far.
What's the purpose of these experiments, then?
To stop the demonic tide, to correct the miscalculations of the past. blood magic comes from demons, they could counter every bit of law I knew. But the Darkspawn taint, that is alien to them. And it has power.
What power?
The Wardens use it merely to sense Darkspawn. A triviality. My research has discovered so much more. Hinted at even greater heights. This knowledge could not only save Soldier's Peak, with it the Wardens could grow even more powerful.
And you sacrificed your fellow Wardens for it?
It was necessary. It was vital. The few meager years of life they would have spent trapped in this tower were nothing compared to the greater goal. I gave their death meaning.
I don't like this.
I have done what I must. But let me undo my greatest of mistakes. Let me cleanse this place. Then I will accept whatever justice you feel I merit.
What have you learned?
You've already read my research. But in time, with the proper materials, I could learn so much more.
Okay. What else
Yes?
can I ask you? What happened?
What use would storytelling serve? The tyrant Arland is long dead, as is all our noble co-conspirators and the Grand Rebellion. Sophia's corpse may walk and talk, but she, too, is no more.
How is he a tyrant?
He ruled with fear and poison, his treachery pit noble against noble in terrible battle. We thought him a monster. We gathered allies to rebel. But the toll of years has erased our failure, hasn't it? It seemed so pressing then. But the kingdom lives on.
What happened to the rebellion?
Too many mouths to quiet. Even sorcery can only go so far. So we met with Tyrn Kuzland. With him on our side, we had a chance of victory. Instead, the King's Guard ambushed us. Commander Dryden and I barely escaped.
Had to know summoning demons was foolhardy.
Perhaps, but it was survival. For months, I prepared the summoning circles, researched the darkest depths of the Fade. That moment was a triumph of demonic law. Dozens of demons, called by my hand. But with so many variables, I suppose, calculation errors were inevitable. Ugh. I was so close.
She knew about the demons?
She gave the order. I would have summoned the demons anyway. Only under Wardens can true magical research continue. A chance to rediscover the secrets of ancient Tevinter.
You do remember how that ended, the Black City, Darkspawn, why we're here in the first place.
Chantry lies told to subjugate the mages, to keep them docile.
You think the Chantry's wrong?
And how do you know they are right? Their faith would have you swallow a great deal for small comfort.
Okay.
Yes?
Levi.
Master Mage, sir, my family name has been worth less than dirt for over a century. Do you have any proof that Sophia was a hero?
The boy who braved the mists. So you heeded my call. And you are a Dryden. The cosmos has a sense of humor.
Your call?
He was but a boy when he entered the tunnels below the peak. his heart pure, his character certain. In dreams, I gave him the keys he would need. He would be my deliverance.
Just answer his question.
Your great-great-grandmother was the best of us. Brave, charismatic, fiery, utterly devoted to the fight. But still we lost. We fought against a tyrant, you know, so full of vigor then, so blind to consequence. But proof? There's none to be had.
Sorry.
I had hoped. But thank you, Warden.
Is there anything else I can ask?
Yes.
No.
So be it. My only request, if justice or vengeance drive you, stay your hand until the demons are dealt with.
Until the demons are dead, we're allies.
That will do for now. We must go to the Great Hall. There, I will repair the damage I caused so long ago. There will be peril. The demons will fight us every step of the way. Come.
Allow me. I could do that for you. Right away.
Mystery of Soldier's Peak. There's one mystery, however, that persisted, and this mystery perplexed even Commander Halwick herself. When Commander Asturian went into his calling in the deep roads, he did not have in his hand a sword. Asturian's might, forged to him by dwarven smiths and presented to him upon the completion of Soldier's Peak. Nor did he pass the sword on to his successor, nor did any other Grey Warden. While some maintained that Asturian had simply destroyed the sword in his dotage, others believed he had stashed it away somewhere in Soldier's Peak. One young warden claimed that Asturian had once grabbed him by the shoulders, fixed him with an unwavering gaze, and said, "The sword will remind you what it is to be a warden. Speak your oath to me when the shadows come. You must speak the words." What this was supposed to mean was never made clear.
Yes, of course.
You know what? I'm gonna let you decide whether I drink from that or not. I don't like the sound of it, of what's gone into it. But that said, what comes out of it is a different question. Well, Redcliffe really was a bad place to start. And everything has been much smoother since going to the Circle Tower. Despite demons and... yeah. So... I did make it to Redcliffe, wasn't sure whether I would. Not just made it to Redcliffe, I made it through Redcliffe. Into the Fade twice. So. Now I've got a drink. and the decision as to whether or not I drink it, which I'm going to leave it up to you to vote on. Because I really can't decide. Like, I don't know whether this thing's inherently evil or anything. So... anyhow. Gone on a little later than expected, but also started a little later than expected. So, good night, and see you in a week.